Good day, everyone. My name is Peter Delport. I'm the editor of Bloemfontein Courant. It is once again a huge honor for us as Bloemfontein Courant and the CMG Group to be involved with Standard Bank, our partner, in this year's business breakfast. Because of COVID-19 regulations, we can't have it in a real venue this year, and we have to do it virtually. But it takes nothing away from the fact that there'll be very interesting and helpful tips being shared by Standard Bank. And as you know, Standard Bank always understands the needs of business people in Bloemfontein. So here's Anton Nicolaisen from Standard Bank to give you more.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bloemfontein Courant, Standard Bank's virtual breakfast, and it's all to the benefit of Choc. We really appreciate you joining us today. It's over a year back that we had the first event, and hasn't the world changed since then? Last year I was privileged to have just come back from a trip overseas, and this time around I cannot even move out of my house. How the world changed and how we interact in a different manner. And that just show what impact this virus had on us all, not just how we live, but also how we do business. And I trust today is going to help you also a bit to adjust and get some food and some ways how you can take your business forward. Joining us today is Lincoln Marley. Lincoln Marley is our group head for card and payment systems, and he's an unbelievable speaker, and I've got no doubt you'll enjoy him. He has shared stages with the likes of Brand Pretorius, Clem Santer, and various world leaders in the leadership field, and he's going to talk a bit around how this whole virus is affecting us in the workplace. How can we help our staff? And how can we also help our customers through this and position us? Enjoy this morning. I hope you enjoy your breakfast there where you are. And yes, all the best and enjoy the session. Thank you.
Hello everybody. My name is Lincoln Marley from the Standard Bank Group. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be with you again this year. This year is very different. We're holding this breakfast at your home, and I'm coming to talk to you at your home. So much has changed since we last spoke at the Standard Bank Courant breakfast. Our world has changed. Everything is upside down. So I thought today I could share a few thoughts with you as you navigate this current environment. The theme of my talk is we face the same storm, yet we're in different boats. We face the same storm, yet we're in different boats. So when we think about the current environment we find ourselves, so many people have lost their lives. Others have lost their livelihoods. Others have lost loved ones. Others are sick in hospital. Others are quarantining at home. Others are working under COVID conditions at work. Others are working from home. We're all in a different environment. We face the same storm, but we're in different boats. How are South Africans feeling? It really depends which boat people are in and how the storm has impacted them. Some people are sad. Others are scared. Others are angry. Others are lonely. Others are very frustrated. Others are very anxious, while others are just lost and yearning for some answers and hoping that this too will pass. But we run businesses. We're responsible for businesses. We own businesses. How does this impact on us? All of our businesses may be facing the same storm, but our businesses themselves are in different boats. There are those businesses and industries that were opened at level 5. They're starting now to normalize, but under different conditions. There are those businesses that were opened at level 4. They are also trying to find their feet. Then we have those businesses that were opened at level 3. And now recently, we have businesses that have opened at level 2. Yet, we must not forget, there are still businesses and industries that have not opened at all. Collectively, we all feel the pain. Individual businesses are also feeling the pain because this epidemic has hit all of us, and all of us in different ways are suffering through the aftermath of this. Let's think about your staff. What are your staff thinking about? What are they worrying about at the moment? Some are worried about family health, the health of their loved ones, the safety of their loved ones. They're also worried about their own personal health. Those who have to go to work, who work in environments like in retail, where they have to deal with many clients, they're worried about their own health. Some are worried about their jobs, with job security, because they see there are businesses that are closing next door. What's going to happen to your business? They worry. They're worried about kids' education. Not all of us were meant for online education. It's been tough. People are also worried about working at home. Other people don't enjoy working at home. And then others are worried about death because they're losing loved ones. This is the vortex of emotions that your staff are going through, that you yourself are going through. But we still have to run a business under these conditions. If you think about it, your staff themselves respond to this very differently. You may have staff members who are very calm, who think that they are protected from the virus, who take all the precautions, who understand their own conditions, and have actually cocooned themselves away from all of the strife, away from the misery. Those people find themselves calm, and their emotions are as valid as anybody else. But we have staff members who are overwhelmed, overworked. There's no difference between weekend and during the week. No difference between during our work hours and family hours. Our work has invaded their homes. They are in Zoom and Teams meetings from 7 in the morning, sometimes to 8 in the evening. They have no time for their families. They are overwhelmed by debt. They are overwhelmed by the entire situation. Others are focused. You've got team members who are focused. They know what they need to do. They are focused on what they need to do. They are as legitimate as anybody else. The last group is stressed. They're highly stressed. Fear about jobs, fear about their health, fear of infections. All of these things are contributing to all of that stress. Now remember, for many of us, we have to lead a team that's at work and another team that's at home, and create coherence within the team, and for them to serve your clients in the same way. This is not easy. But you know what? Who said business was easy? This is what we're made up for. This pandemic is going to reveal our true characters as leaders. How do we navigate out of this and help our businesses to succeed? If I think about the challenges your staff are facing, they include many of them cannot have the right equipment to work at home. It's a struggle. Others don't have enough space to work at home and be able to take the calls in a crowded environment. Others are battling because of high cost of data. Others are battling with online schooling, as I mentioned before. Others have got fear of infection because they are at work. Others have worries about load shedding. Others are worried about transport to work. How safe is the transport? Others have a sense of isolation because they live alone. All these emotions are what we've got to navigate to get the best out of our staff so that they can give the best to our clients. But now, if we now come closer to your business, you have to run a number of scenarios. I'm not talking about worrying. All of us can worry. But scenarios is about thinking things through and work out what would you do if something were to happen. Let me give you a couple of examples. One, what if your critical staff members in your business are infected with COVID? Do you have alternative plans to deal with that? What if you are infected and you have to quarantine? Do you have plans for how the business will continue in your absence? These are critical business decisions about your personnel. Who would be there to help your business if your critical staff or you cannot be available? The second one, what if there's death in your team? How are we going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with supporting those families? How are you going to deal with your staff members wanting to go to a funeral, knowing the conditions under which funerals take place? These are conditions you have to think about and not only land with that because there's a death. What about the financing of your business? Have you looked at your financing? Have you spoken to the financial institution? There are a number of programs that banks are offering. Payment holidays and interest-free payments and all of those things. You have to look at your business and look at your funders and have a discussion about them depending on the impact of COVID-19 on your business. What about the impact on your costs? If the revenue is not there, you have to look at your costs. What costs are you going to take out of the business? What expenses don't you need? What other sacrifices are going to be needed? Can people work shorter hours? Can people make salary sacrifices? Can there be salary cuts to save jobs? What do you do with bonuses? These are deep questions that have to be looked at as you're leading your team. And you have to have these conversations because your people are thinking about them. You are thinking about them too. You need these conversations quite early. And then there's a dreaded word of retrenchments. We've seen businesses already starting to retrench. When that comes to your business, how will you make that decision? What process will you follow? And then if you are going to do it, how will you do it in the most humane way? How will you take your people along with you? How can you reskill them? These are important questions, and they must be dealt with by all of us who run businesses. And last but not least, what plans do you have for relief for your clients who are also going through challenges? Relief to your suppliers, negotiating terms with your suppliers. All of these things are part of what you have to do because you have to keep the business going. And I hope you can think about these and engage with other colleagues to find some solutions. There are no easy answers. We are all grappling with these things because we're facing a mammoth pandemic, a huge storm. But yet, we're in different boats. You will understand your boat. How do you manage from your boat? If I think about you, because you have to be strong for everybody, you have to lead everybody. But what about you? How will you survive your storm? How will you survive this huge storm? I know most people don't want to talk about that. But you have to talk about you. I would suggest the following things for you. Firstly, you have to adapt to the current reality. I see so many leaders who are yearning and wishing for the time to get back to normal. Well, we are not there yet. You have to do the best in the current reality. Immerse yourself in this reality. Lead in this reality. strive, succeed in this reality rather than yearn and wish for another reality. The second thing is your physical health. I know many of us as business people are too busy, but our health comes first. We have to be in strong physical health by looking after our exercise and our diet. I know I'm not one of the most athletic guys, but I've had to listen to my wife. I don't like running except if somebody's chasing me. I have to do walks, which keep me better all the time. And I have to change my diet completely so that I'm sure that my immune system is stronger by the day. How is your health? Are you looking after your physical health? How's your diet? Is it in line with what we need? These are very important things. The third thing is, are you in one of the vulnerable groups as a leader? Are you in one of the high risk group of people? People with diabetes, hypertension, obesity, heart problem, lung problem, all of these. If you have any of those, you have to take extra precautions. You have to listen to the medical advice in order for you to survive and be there to lead your business. The next thing I want you to worry about is your mental health. This is something that most people undermine. Mental health knows no race, knows no language, knows no geography, knows no gender or age. It can affect all of us. Because we're stressed, we're overthinking, we're worried, and we're overworking, and we're stressed and overwhelmed, it's easy for us to suffer from mental health. We've got to find a way of removing ourselves from time to time. Taking walks, doing your hobbies, just getting away from the daily grind of your work, not watching TV 24/7, listening to the death stats and all of that. You have to free your mind from that. Mental health is important for us as leaders and as owners of business. Then there's leading your team. How are you going to lead your team now? You require a lot of empathy and compassion. We have to care more. You know, in banking, we've got something called KYC, know your customer. You have to know your staff so intimately. Which ones of them are battling? Which ones of them have got family problems that they can't manage? Which ones will better to work from home? Which ones have got underlying health conditions? You got to do all of that. And you have to have so much compassion, so much empathy, so that you can support your team through this. If you think about that old story of the Chilean miners who were stuck in a mine for many, many days, it took leadership for them to overcome such adversity. Now is the time for you to lead your team through this. Your heart is going to be the most important asset you've got. Lead your people through your heart. Care for them deeply, and they will respond, and you'll bounce back, and your business will bounce back. Next one is learning new skills. We have been in quarantine or lockdown for more than 5 months. It might continue for longer in various levels. What are we doing to learn other skills? The world is now going digital. How are you making sure that you're learning about digital? How does digital affect your business? How will your business change? You can't only focus on the now. You have to focus on the now and focus on the future. Learn new skills. Then last but not least, for you to survive this, you have to have your family close. You have to have your family close. Firstly, let's start with your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or your partner. In China, they report that there are higher incidents of divorce because of lockdown. You can't be that statistic. You have to get closer during this time. Understand one another. Because you may be in the same house, be married for 30 years, but you may be experiencing this storm differently. How do you understand one another? How do you show sensitivity, care for your loved one? Listen to them and what they go through. I'm here on a farm in the Eastern Cape. I've been here for the last 5 months. The first 3 weeks, I thought I am staying with somebody I don't know. My wife and I couldn't agree on anything. We were on each other's toes. But it needed us to just recoup, get back, have conversations, and we started to understand one another. There are going to be uncomfortable conversations. For an example, as men, we may be accused of not putting our weight, not helping a lot in the workplace, in the home. What are we going to add? What are we going to do to help the family during these times? Those of you who are ladies, you may be accused of overspending, because we will start to see things now, so much things being bought all the time. But because sometimes men are not in that house, they don't understand the budget and how it works. And now suddenly there's more bread, more toilet paper, and more this. Duh, it's because you're at home. So everybody's spending some more and eating some more. So all these things need a conversation. And there's your children. Guys, remember, our children have a front row seat to us. They are watching us every day now. We normally come back late from work, leave early to work. Now we're here 24/7, working from home, the majority of us. They see us, our frustrations, us shouting at people and whatever. Is that the example we want to set? Let's spend this time with our loved ones. We may not get this length of time with our families to work from home. Let's love them. Let's be there for them. Let's be attentive to them. In fact, sometimes we do the worst things. We may be on a video call and your child comes and you're not on mute, and then you shout at the child and shush them away. Is that what we want our kids to remember? Instead of us embracing the child and saying to everybody, sorry guys, so-and-so is here, let me introduce you, and she'll be with us, and then she'll go later, and the conversation continue. What culture do we want to have in our businesses? These are important questions we have to think about. Now you say to me, Lincoln, how can I support my staff? How can I support my staff through this? There are a number of things I want to suggest. The first one is, please encourage those sick employees, those who are infected, those who've got underlying conditions, to stay at home as much as possible. Them coming to work doesn't help them, does not help their families, neither do they help the other employees, nor help your business. We must already plan and say how many of our people can really come to work for those businesses that still have people at work. Let's show gratitude to our staff more, especially those who are coming to work under difficult conditions. Find more social time, more time to boost the morale, drive the gears up, make sure that there's enough gears in the team. Also redefine the jobs so that more people can now share the burden and modify the roles of people, because now some people are not at work and they're working from home, others are not there, they're sick. You have to find a way of remodifying the roles, but it means more communication with your team. Then you must make accommodation for high-risk employees. Upfront, what's going to happen to them? How are you managing them? Are they talking to their doctors? Are they taking their medication? All of those things are important. Looking at female leaders in the world, whether it's New Zealand or Germany and so on, we can learn a lot of lessons about how they could lead their countries with compassion and empathy. I used to watch Saturdays with envy to watch rugby in New Zealand during COVID-19. I'm sitting here, I can't watch the Bulls playing. Those guys are playing there because they followed the thing and they were able to manage that COVID. What does that mean? How do you become a New Zealand in your business so that your business is stronger at the end? And then you've got to know how to manage the tightness versus the looseness. In a time like this, you can't centralize everything. Some things you have to empower your team, but some things you have to hold close. And it's that balance that you have to have all the time. Now, as I go to the end, how do you make sure that your business survives? There are a number of business-related things you have to think about. Firstly, how are your supply chains? You now have to review your supply chains, all your suppliers, and see whether into the next phase of COVID-19, can you carry on with those supply chains, or do you need to review them or change them? Secondly, you've already made capital-related decisions. Can you review those capital allocations because of the uncertainty that's there? Do you want to go ahead with those capital allocations or pull them back? These are big decisions. Thirdly, how's your liquidity in the business? As we know, liquidity is everything. What are your lines that you've got? Those things are important so that your business remains liquid. What about your cash flow? Have you done forecasting of your cash flow with high probability, medium probability, or low probability of things going bad? This is very important for your business to survive. What about your working capital? You have to optimize your working capital. Think very clearly about your working capital. Have discussions with your finance team and grill them about all the work that they need to do to give you scenarios around your working capital. Then you've got investments in digital capabilities. As I said earlier, digital is going to be accelerating now because of COVID. How will it affect your industry? How will it affect your business? Are you investing in digital capability? And this is important for your business. And lastly, and painfully, you have to resize your cost structure. If your revenue is not coming, your cost cannot be growing the same way. You have to resize your cost structure, whether it's personnel costs or non-personnel costs. All of your costs have to be reviewed. So, in the end, what am I asking of each one of you? I'm asking each and every one of you to try and lead the change. Manage your teams and manage your business during all of these difficult times. Support one another, support your teams, and then try and maintain your business. These are difficult times. We all face an unprecedented storm, yet we're in different boats. I hope I've tried to clarify how I could help you to think about the boat that you're in, but for you to also think about the boats that others are in, whether it's for your suppliers, whether it's for your stakeholders, whether it's for your clients, or whether it's your shareholders. How do you think about your boat and their boat? I know we'll go through this. I know we will succeed, but we're going to need each and every one of us to lead differently, to lead from the heart, to lead with empathy, to lead with compassion, and take our people with us. Communication is everything. Communicating proactively with your customers, communicating proactively with your staff, communicating proactively with your family, and communicating proactively with yourself about the things you need to do, the things you need to change. The world will never be the same again. But we have the ability to adapt. We have the ability to change. We have the ability to ride the storm and become better on the other side. But we require choices. We require leadership. We require key decisions from each and every one of us. So I'd like to say once again, a huge, huge thank you for being invited again to this wonderful, wonderful occasion. And I hope that in some way I've shared some thoughts with you that can help you as you navigate this storm. We're facing the same storm, yet we're in different boats. This storm will pass. This too shall pass. And I think our faith will be strengthened. And I think our faith will be stronger as we go through this. So I want to thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.